orchids for a university student yesterday, and in preparing for that, I tidied things up a bit. Not to where they should be, but enough that she could get her tripod in here and we could talk for a couple of hours. So in doing that, I thought, why don't I do a video of just showing what's going on in here since it's been a while. And I'll just try to do that really quick. Right before us, this is my Paphiopedilum Saint Swithin, which is a cross between Paph phillippinense and Paph rothchildianum. And this is one of my favorite orchids, my favorite Paphiopedilums. Don't really need to explain why. Curly stripes, bumps and hairs. It's got it all. Well, it doesn't have a fragrance. Even inside the pouch. But anyway, that's that. Over here, this is something that's been in bloom for a while. Well, you wouldn't know it, but it has been in bloom for a while, probably since right after Christmas. It had another inflorescence on it that flowered, and then this one opened up later. This is Dendrobium Hawaiian spectacular, which is a cross between, this is a Laturia cross. It's Dendrobium Big Alex, which has Alexandri in it and something else, maybe Bigaboom, but then it also is back crossed with Dendrobium spectabile. So, yeah, had this for a while. It does look kind of ratty, but there's a new growth over there. It's about time to divide this sucker. Back in the back, this has been developing for some time, and it's finally, well, if I can focus in on it, finally got an inflorescence with a couple of buds on it. This is also a multifloral Paphiopedilum. This is Paph Green Horizon, which is Makuli Lucy times phillippinense. So I believe Makuli is another green Paph, and so it's crossed with phillippinense, the alba. So it is a green multifloral. Moving on down, this is a Dendrobium that I got at Nats this year. This is, I've seen it all around in all the shows, and so I can't take credit for the blooms. This is my Dendrobium spider lily, which I love to death. Actually, I didn't care for it. This is a first time blooming. When it first opened up, the blooms didn't really open up wide, and they stayed halfway closed and almost like they were tilted down, like they were very shy, which I don't mind, but the flower was just closed. And later on, they opened more, and the way that they are held in the cluster, they kind of do resemble spiders. It is kind of downward, but it is spider-like. I like it a lot. This does also have Alexandrii, which is crossed with, no, it's atroviolaceum, which is crossed with Dendrobium roy Tokunaga. All right, let me see. Yeah, nothing really going on up here. This is, I just repotted this into this basket. I'd had it in just a pot, and this is my Acineta superba, I believe. But it's got two new growths. This is a new growth, and this is a new growth. So that is nice. The inflorescence come out of the bottom, and the flowers are very heavily substanced, fragrant. It's in the Stanhopea maxillaria family, Zygopetalum alliance. Back over here, I'm not sure if this is going to do anything, but if they're new growths, that's fine. This is my Coelogyne rochussenii, and there's a new growth, and there are There's two over there, and then there's one inside of the pot. So some of those develop into flower spikes. That would be nice, but I'm not really thinking that they will. Nothing going on here. I know I'm gonna miss something, but that's okay. This is something that I picked up. This is another big lip Phalaenopsis hybrid that I like. It's been in bloom for a while. It's got another bud. And this over here is what is that? I knew that. Phal FANGtastic Green Envy Judy. And there's another inflorescence right there with buds. Nice thing. My Aeranthes henrici has a new growth, a new leaf coming out of the middle, which is nice. My Angraecum, Angraecum didieri. Here we go. That is in spike. And those, I think, for me in the past, if I look at them too hard, the spikes blast every time. Down here is a relatively new acquisition. This is, I believe I got this at Norman's maybe. This is Phal, I'm not gonna pronounce that, but it's just such a beautiful flower. Looks more copper in real life, but still really, really nice. Okay. Up here, are my Brassavolas. This is my Yaki's best, which I don't see any new growths yet, but I'm hoping. Over this way, I'm not sure what this is, but it looks, starting to look like it's a spike. And this is my Stanhopea Grand Night. And I'll put in the description what the cross is, I can't remember. But it was looking pretty bad. I didn't really water it much all winter, and the bulbs got shriveled. The bulbs were big. Almost looked like Encyclia cordigera bulbs. But now they're all wrinkled, and then this is coming out. So I mean, it could be a new growth, but the way that it is looking, it is certainly looking like a flower spike. So we will see. This other Stanhopea, which is Brassavola, has two new growths, and then there's another new growth that's still forming over there. Up above here, this is, I don't know what this is. This is a cross. This is Sunrise, but it is not a Renanetia. It is Renanetia maybe, but I'm not sure. But it's a cross between Renanetia inshutiana and Neophonetia falcata. And the Sunrise is what it's called. I don't think, it's not a Renanetia. Just to point this out, this is a new acquisition that I got. This is Brassavola nodosa, but it's the adorable clone. And it came with a seed pod. And we all know adorable, what adorable means. That's Bill Tom's. This was a very pleasant surprise. I wasn't even going to show this, but I am going to anyway. This is my Aeranthes Phillippinense. And this actually bloomed last, well, I bought it in bloom last summer because of Maria Young. And noticed not going to focus on it. There it is. There's a spike right there. There's another spike. And those get really long spikes that hang all the way down, and the flowers are very fragrant, very thick. This is my David Sanders, my Brassavola David Sanders, one of the ones that I have. This is a new growth that's pretty big, and there's a few smaller ones that are just coming up. Up above here next to this adorable is my Brassavola perenniae, and it's got two spikes right there. There's two buds. Sorry for the light, but they're there. Well, yeah, this is my Dendrobium caneliculatum. That's right here up front. Still got to thank Rolando down in Florida, who has a beautiful garden. Can't remember what his YouTube channel is. Is it Guru? Orchid Guru, maybe? But he has these in his garden. And I don't know if I can, the flowers are sort of upside downish, so it's hard to get in there, but I swear during the warm part of the day when the sun is out, these flowers smell like honey. And it's a very small pseudobulb right there. I have another, well, this is not a good representation, but I had a compote of these from H&R that I still have a few around somewhere that have some new growths coming up on them. This is my Cattleya violacea, which is Muse, and this is the new growth. It's got a root. This gets watered every day because it grows hanging over running streams and on the trees that are hanging out over the stream, so it gets a lot of moisture and a lot of sun. And just back there are some seedlings that are actually doing pretty well. Okay, back this way. This is my Dendrobium Takunaga, which has been in bloom for months. Over here, this is an Odosa cross. Here's the tag. Susan Fuchs. This ain't working. Susan Fuchs times that. And the flowers are really going out, but you can see how pretty they were, minus the cast from the LED over there. Down here, this is another plant that's going out. This is my Rochussenii Williamsonianum. I'm not gonna grab the tag, it's way back there, but it did a nice flowering for me. It had like 5 flowers on it. And behind that hanging there, and you're really not gonna see much of this plant, but this is an Angraecum. This is Angraecum erectum. And if my camera can focus on that, there's a bud right in there. There's actually 2. There's one around there on the other side, but it's not going to focus on it. It's very minute. And these are little white star-shaped flowers. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to focus on it. Hopefully when it blooms, I will be able to show it to you. And up above this is a new Coelogyne. This is Xerices, and this flower just opened as well. And this is also slightly fragrant, but not in a floral way, more of a minerally way. And there's another flower spike developing there, or another flower, I should say. Okay. My Stellus has a couple spikes on it. I think it's still in bud. These truly don't open until the sun shines directly on them. And looks like it's not there. So, but the flowers are very small, and there's another flower spike over there. Yeah, those flowers must be spent. But this one's still going on, and then there's some new growths down there. Down here, there is a flower spike right there on my Phalaenopsis. This is meadow gold, I believe. And next to it is another Phalaenopsis, which is wine light. And I don't know if you can look and see, but in those pots, let me just put it down. Sorry, this is not a good show, but this one is in spike as well, I believe. Down there, there's spikes, I believe, that come from the base of the new growths. These are very difficult to grow, and I'm very happy that I've got these to put up new growths. I've had these for a year. I got these last winter. These like it on the shady side, intermediate conditions, but they like water in the roots. So I have them in these pans, and these are another collection over here of those. So they like their roots to be wet, so you can see that they wick up the water, but they don't like too much sun, so they are underneath this shelf, totally in the dark. I mean, they get very dappled sunshine only during this part of the day when the sun is shining on this spot. Plus the fans are constantly blowing on it. There's a fan here and there's a fan there, so it's getting lots of air movement. Hence is why I have these other very tender mounted Angraecoids here that I got here. They require the same conditions, even much more so since they're mounted. So I have to, they're just high maintenance, and let me just leave it at that. But there's a flower spike right there, and I know there's going to be more on this one. So I'm very happy, and I know I skipped something, which is just right here. And I know I've been talking about this plant for probably a year now, expecting to see blooms because it was just so big. And there's more new growths that have come up from the plant, and it finally pushed up a flower spike. And I actually thought that this growth was the one that was going to flower, but it was this one back here. But I still think that this one may actually flower. It's got some new growths in between the leaves there, and it just looks like it's going to. So maybe I'll have two flower spikes on this one. This plant is Phal Lady Isabel times Wilhelmina times phillippinense. Flowered, well, I bought it in flower a couple of years ago, and it was a very small plant that it flowered on. And let me see if it's still in there. Yeah, there's the growth that flowered right there. And granted, it's declined because of the age, but I mean, it was not that big when it flowered. I mean, these growths are twice the size, so maybe I'll get twice the flowers, because I do remember that it had a few number of flowers on it. Down here, I know I'm probably not going to be able to show this off. This is Cribia confusa. This is an Angraecoid, and it is in spike. Well, looks like that spike aborted somehow. I know it did because I bumped it. But this one looks like it is still active on the other side. Very slow producing spike. Well, I'm sad. Oh well, you know, I still have another one. Okay, this is something that I've had. This is my Dendrobium Pam times rothchildianum, and there is flower spike. There's another right there. And actually, back over this way, there's a bud back here on this plant. Oh well. Let me just move on, because this is getting to be a long video already. Okay. Yeah, nothing back over there. Alright. This is another happy surprise right here. You can see the spike right there. This is my Michael Kupovich Paphiopedilum microcupovich times rothchildianum. And there is a name for that. Can't remember. Maybe it's Shin something, maybe pride. Shin's pride, maybe, I don't know. Something like that. But that should be a very nice special plant. That actually bloomed for me last year. And so I'm glad that it's blooming now. And it's got some nice new growths that are coming up on that as well. This is my Cattleya guttata that it's got some roots coming out the bottom, but no new growths yet. Up above here hanging is my Joyce Stewart Angraecum, which is a cross between Scotianum and Cucullatum, I believe, or Compactum. It's one of those, but it's Joyce Stewart. And there's a flower spike right there. And let me see. I think there's one up there that's coming up out of the top right there. It's hard to focus it. But anyway, I just kind of remounted this. It was already on this piece of wood, and I like it on it. But I took it off and remounted it and put some fresh sphagnum. The sphagnum had gone bad. You always have to replace sphagnum fairly often, yearly, if possible. So I did that, and I'm happy that it's looks like it's put out a root right there since I've repotted it. So I'm pretty happy. Angraecums don't like to be repotted, and especially after they're mature blooming size, and this definitely had been blooming for me every year. Last year I had 4 flower spikes on it, and actually had a few kikis at the bottom. Lost those kikis, and that's why I decided I needed to repot it, because it was just rotting from this moss that was bad. So I had to do it, and so I'm happy it seems to have survived. Anyway, I'll just point this out. This is my cristata, which bloomed beautifully in the winter, and it's got new growths coming up. So that's nice. These over here, these are my Motes Vandas that I actually got at a sale at St. Louis auction. And this one bloomed for me last year, which is, I believe it's this, yeah, this is the one that bloomed. This is that, Mary Motes. And I want to say that little nubbin down there is a flower spike. There's not much happening down here except for my Aussie chips, which I heard recently is the same as microchip. That's been in bloom. It's got a couple new growths that have matured. This is, sorry for the light, this is my Mabel Camda Epidendrum. Is it? No, it's Serena O'Neill, that's what it is, which is Mabel Camda crossed back to Cordigera. And it's got a flower spike. Thought it would get 2. This one has a sheath in it as well, but I mean, I could tell by the size of the bulbs that it's probably got another season before it'll bloom. These have a habit of putting up sheaths on their growths to make you think that they're gonna bloom, but till they reach that size, they're not gonna bloom. And so anyway, I got blooms there. And also, this is the first time reblooming for this. This is my Encyclia Oncydioides. And it's got a flower spike that's branched right there, and there it is. This is a fragrant flower as well. What else is there? Look at that, that is so nice. That salmon colored Coelogyne, just incredible. Beautiful. Okay, that's my Encyclia Citrina looking so sad. Eucale, or whatever you want to call it. I've got another one that's actually looking a lot better. Let me point that out. I just got this one because I thought that the one that I had that I just showed you was not going to do so well. This one looks, it's smaller, but it looks like it's healthier. And I have it over here sitting. Probably could use more sun, but it'll be over here for a while because I just got it. But the new growth looks nice and healthy. And I've got it sitting in a little tray of moisture because it likes that. And I forgot, pass right on past this. How could I pass you by? You're so pretty. This is Catalalia banana split Puna butter. I don't think it's a Catalalia anymore. There's another name going around for these complex Catalalia in epidendrum hybrids or encyclia hybrids. Can't remember it right now, but I have bought one recently that had that name. Anyway, it's pretty. It's not fragrant, but it's pretty. That's probably about it. But I will point this out. This is my Pierardii, or I guess it's called a phylum. And there's more buds up there. It's got a winter rest, but occasional misting. Down here, this is my Walkeriana. This is probably the oldest plant in my collection. Got it Hauserman probably in the 80s, and it's been with me through Seattle, Chicago, back to Champaign, and it's got a new growth. Suffered for years, and it's finally coming back a little bit. I think it's still a baby. What else? I'm thinking that my Dendrobium, which maybe I can get to up here, it's my Dendrobium crystallinum. No, it's, what is that? But it's in spike. I'll put the name down. It's not crystallinum, it's pendulum. That's it. That's last year's growth. And it's already got a new growth started up there, so I need to be watering it. But those nodules have little protrusions, and there's one coming out right there. All right, I think that's probably it, besides a couple of atroviolaceums over there. Dendrobium. Actually, those were freebies from the show. They were dumpster dives, as you've heard. What's her name? She has a channel on YouTube. Aeranthes. Spencer Aeranthes, that's who it is. That is my Enobulbon, and it may not be Enobulbon anymore, but Magnificum. Let me just grab the tag. Enobulbon munifica. And that's just completed its new growth. Hopefully, I will begin to see spikes on it. I did notice that this is my Eulalia anceps, has already got 2 nice new growths on it, and there's another one tucked back over that way. That's probably about it. Oh, this is one last thing that I got that I am so happy to have. And I know that it's not going to show, the color is not going to show, but this is the most dark. Besides that black Vanda from Moats, this is pretty darn spectacular. And it is really going out. But, as you can see by the rest of the spike, but the flowers at the end are still really nice. So anyway, I think that's about it. Okay, I lied. There's more. I lied. Let me just go down here. That pretty thing's been in bloom for a while. Down here is a little microclimate that I've created out of this pan as an assortment of things. But right off the front, this is my Dendrobium tangerinum. Well, it's showing the back to me now, so. There's no fragrance to the flowers. This is an antelope type. It's been in bloom for a very long time. And then the plant right behind that, it's probably my pride and joy right now. This is Epidendrum Parkinsonianum. Very nice plant. It's got some new growths coming. There's more new growths towards the back of the plant, but it's also in spike. It has 3 spikes going, 1, 2, and then there's one down here. Has buds. Flowers on this spike are kind of going out now, It's been in bloom for a little while now, a couple weeks maybe longer. But I'm looking forward to the next round of flowers to go. Then also down here, got this other Latouria Dendrobium down here, which is my Aeranthes. So it is actually in spike. There's a spike there coming out of the center, and there's another one somewhere. Yeah, it's right behind there. There's a little spike in there. Can't really see it that well. Anyway, and I also forgot to show you these plants over here. This is my rhododendron, which is still in bloom. It's been in bloom for a long time. And then moving on down this way, this is my Encyclia bractescens. There's a spike right there. And then back there, there's another spike with a bud on it. And then behind there is my Stanhopea. Just has the one bloom on it so far. I do believe there's more coming on some of the other pseudobulbs. Just kind of hoping to get some flowers on this, which is a cross, but I don't see any yet. And I do believe that's about it for now. Oh, let me show you this while I'm over here, just to show you the damage that I've been talking about as far as the cold damage. Now this plant actually is my Gigantea, and I haven't lost it, but it's just hanging on there. It's actually producing a new spike right there, but it lost a couple of leaves. I mean, you can see the cold damage on this leaf, so it is still recovering. But anyhow, that is my update. And I don't know when I'll be doing another update because I'm leaving town next week for Italy for 3 weeks. So I'm glad that I got this update in before I left, so I could show off what's been going on since it's been a while. And I guess that is about it. Again, enjoy your orchids, and thanks a lot for watching. Thank you. Bye.